Many cities and towns across North Carolina remain cut off from help and supplies from Hurricane Helene. That includes no power, no cell service more than a week after that storm came through. Cleanup across the state could take years. More than 200 people have been killed by Helene across 6 states, and there are hundreds of others that remain unaccounted for. And as people try to put their lives back together, there is another hurdle in this recovery, and that's misinformation. There are false claims surfacing surrounding the government's response or lack thereof, statements circulating that officials are withholding aid. Former President Trump is catching heat now from North Carolina's second largest newspaper, being criticized for being part of those false claims. NewsNation's Mills Hayes joining us live from Asheville, North Carolina, with more on what the former president is saying and the latest on that ongoing recovery. Mills.
Hey, good morning, Marni. Well, here in Asheville, things are definitely still in search and rescue mode as well as cleanup mode as well. You can see the damage all around me. And you mentioned what the former president had been saying. He has called this administration's response to the hurricane inadequate. And we have heard from people here on the ground that have told us that they haven't been exactly sure where FEMA has been, but that's because FEMA is mostly working with the state. So those local counties, the cities, they are going to request aid from the state, and then it goes on up to FEMA. And here on the ground, really, there is that need for disaster relief because there is just this wreckage all around us here. And we spoke with some people who have lost everything, many of them who tell us that they are just lucky to be alive. This isn't an ordinary house tour for Taryn Trueluck.
A river runs through it.
Her home was wrecked by Hurricane Helene.
This mountain has been in my family for 100 years. My kids have had a really good life here.
Trueluck is now living with a friend. Her 3 kids are staying with their dad until she gets power back in Fairview, something she thinks could take months.
I've had a lot of Christmases in this house. I mean, you can't really you can't get those memories, you know. I can't make more, but I will never forget those memories.
Over 900 people are staying in shelters in North Carolina, like this one in Asheville.
We was all laying in the bed, and it was raining real bad, and next thing we know, the National Guard came with trucks to come get us, telling us that it's going to get worse.
Edward Lynch served in the Gulf War and has overcome alcohol addiction, but says this storm is worse.
I ain't never seen it like this, you know. I mean, you can't even really prepare for it because, you know, one day you got a bed and shelter, and then the next moment you ain't got nothing, you know, got your clothes on your back.
Helene has killed more than 227 people, but for those left with the destruction, survivor's guilt is rampant.
Well, I mean, I'm alive. I could get a new house. I could get a new car. You can't get a new Taryn Trueluck. I'm the one and only, and a lot of people need me.
You can see those mangled power lines, which is really a representation of the tens of thousands of people that are still without power here, making it very difficult to keep food. And also air conditioning is an issue right now because it is really hot. And then next week it's going to get down to 40 degrees. So they're going to need that heat as well. So those could be some issues that people here on the ground run into, Marni.
Yeah, just need power and need it now. All right, Mills, thank you for the update. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.